Yeah, hi everyone, welcome to Lodge for another week. Really interesting week. I don't think I've ever had so many horses ready to race that actually didn't race. We were going to go to Hamilton on Friday and the track went from a good 4 to a heavy 8 and it actually raced like a heavy 10. So we actually scratched 6 horses down there, which is quite amazing. I've never done that before. So they didn't get to go around, so we put them all in at Kilmore on the Monday and they ran one race there and then they called the races off because the track was deemed to be too hard. So and it was very slippery. So it was just an amazing weekend. But anyway, we've got them all lined up again to go this week. So whatever, if you like something from last week, follow it this week. Had a really good result on Friday night with Kawabata. She went like an absolute beauty. It's probably I think it's probably her best performance on the racetrack. She sat back and sort of just swooped around him and she looked the winner a long way out. So probably a few big decisions to be made from her now, whether we go to the Geelong Cup or whether we run her on Geelong Cup Day in a restricted road race. The race that I really want to try and get her to is the 2800 metre race on Melbourne Cup Day. It's the absolute ideal race for her. The track should suit, the distance will suit, the grading will suit. I just have to get her in on the minimum weight but make sure she gets a run. So a lot of thinking to do, but anyway, she'll probably run on Geelong Cup Day now, either in the Cup or in a restricted grade race. Now races this week, we'll kick off at Cranbourne on Friday night. It's going to be an interesting sort of night. We're in the first race, the third race and the last race. So the last race is at 10 o'clock. So anyway, but okay, Patronus, she's going extremely well. She raced really well the other day. We threw a set of blinkers on it and it turned her form straight around. She's continued to work really good and in fact probably improved a little bit. So I expect her to run a really cheeky race at good odds at Cranbourne on Friday night. Mosh Vago, she was scratched from a heavy track at Hamilton on Friday, then she didn't get to go to the races on Monday, so she's in and now she's first emergency, so hopefully she gets a run. But she's screaming for the mile and it works really good over this sort of distance, so I expect her to go really well. She's been around about the mark, getting beaten 2 and 3 lengths in 1300 metre races, so we go up to the mile, which hopefully we'll be able to make that bit of distance. Might be a little bit of a stronger race, but the horse is in really good nick. GG Girls had a little foot problem and we've had a bar shoe on it and mucked it around for the last 3 to 4 weeks. I thought her work was good yesterday and she trotted out nice and sound this morning on after a nice hard gallop, so we'll probably send her around. You know, difficult when they've had come off these feet problems, how they're going to perform at the races, but she seems, from what we can see, in really good nick, but she doesn't get to race till 10 o'clock at night. Now Pakenham Saturday, Macaria, she didn't get to go around at Kilmore on Monday, so she goes to a 1400 metre race at Pakenham. In very good condition, this filly. She'll bounce and go right on the bunny, and I expect her to run a really good race. She's in very good condition. She's fit and well, so I think you'll see a really good run from her. We've also got Midnight Charge. Now she ran first up, went pretty good at Swan Hill. You would hope that just natural progression she'll improve a bit off that, but she's probably going to, because I think this race is probably going to be a bit stronger than the Swan Hill race, but she'll also go really well. And Marcello Sonata, I was probably a little bit disappointed in the way he went first up. He's trialled up good before that, but then I thought he was only just first up, so he probably needs to improve a bit, but we might throw a set of spurs on him and give him a good kick out of the gates and let him bowl along up on the speed, and you should see some sort of improvement from him. Cranbourne Cup Day on Sunday is always a great day. We'll probably send Prince Ziggy around there. Goes up to the 2000 metres. I've just kept him on the fresh side, and he ran really well the other day at Geelong over 1700. Really hit the line hard. His last sectionals were really good. So we now go up to the 2000 metres, which should suit. I think Cranbourne track will suit him too. If he can sort of get back and get on the outside of him and make one big long run, should suit him. Monday, Tatura. Now in a stride, he's missed a couple of runs because of heavy tracks and whatnot, but he'll go to Tatura on Monday. Now Tatura's really good for front runners, a little tight track. I just want to pray that he draws a gate and sort of we dig out and go forward, and that's the sort of race that he can win. He goes up a couple of kilos on his last start, but the 2000 metres Tatura should suit. We'll be really aggressive early with him, put him into the race, and normally the first 3 around the corner are sort of right in the finish there. Kyneton Tuesday. Now, Brianna ran really good race over 1500 metres first up. She goes up to the 1850 at Kyneton. Looks absolutely ideal. I'm going to ride her a lot closer. We sort of bopped out and sort of just let her follow them around and then made a bit of ground late. We'll kick her in the guts out of the gates on Tuesday and put her in the first 4. It's a fillies and mares race, 64. It's very hard to find these sort of races. That's her grade. So she can definitely run a place at good odds there. Conciello, he sort of missed a couple of runs in the last last week purely because of different things gone wrong with it. But he's ready to go. 14.50 is going to be too short for him, but he's in such good order. He raced a little bit too fresh first up at Geelong. The freshness is off him now, and he sort of settled into his work good. I was wrapped with the way he galloped through the week. As I said, 14.50 is going to be too short, but he'll be right around about the mark at the 200 metre mark, and if he can hold on, I've no doubt he'll be somewhere around about the finish.
G'day guys, welcome to Around the Stables. This week we're going to go with Menyinga, a horse that won pretty impressively at Geelong her last start, but since then she pulled up pretty sore from that gallop, and she's had to have a knee operation where they go in and it's like an arthroscope. They go in, pick the chip out and take it out. It's pretty easy sort of surgery, but hopefully she's in a box now. She's got to be in a box for couple of weeks, and then she'll go out into a small yard and then slowly out into a bigger paddock. It's a bit of a slow progression, but lucky at the farm that we can always keep a close eye on her. We can keep an eye on her in the box, in the small paddock, and then obviously in the bigger paddock where a lot of other stables, the city stables, they've got to keep them in the box, and then they're straight out into an adjustment farm where they don't see them for 3 months. But we'll see her every day and monitor her progress, and I'm sure you'll see her back at the racetrack very soon.
Hi guys, no winners in the last week, but a couple of horses that I would like to stick with. Tiggy Dig ran a good race first up, led and just tied late, only beaten 3 lengths. He's one I'm really happy or looking forward to stick with. No success at Gumbower. Obviously Severian Road went around in the cup, and he just got pressured a bit early, but ran his normal honest race. As for the week ahead, off to Donald tomorrow, Friday, for 2 rides, and Manangatang on Saturday, a long drive up there for 3. Got a few good chances amongst them in the next couple of days, so hopefully we can snag a winner or two, and hopefully I got something good to report to you next week.
Yeah, that's it for another week at Emsley Lodge. Thanks for watching. Lots of horses in training, and all sort of seem to be going pretty good. When you really want your horses firing is certainly springtime in Melbourne's when you want it all happening. Wrapped with a couple of the way these sort of restricted grade horses are going, and they should be able to work through their way through their grades. So and a couple of the other horses that once they get up to a decent trip, they might also certainly get to city grade. So really exciting time, springtime in Melbourne's the place to be. Till next week, see you later. Really busy week on the racetrack, and hopefully have a little bit of success. As the cameraman just gets bitten. All right, start again, all right?
Get out.